Well, welcome to episode number 1 of the HR Tech Spotlight. I am not your host. Deanna Shimota, you are the host, and you are also the founder of GrowthMode Marketing. Congratulations on the podcast launch.
Thank you.
And let's talk about what the HR Tech Spotlight is, because this episode here, episode 1 or 0 or whatever it is kind of a movie trailer for this show, and how exciting this is for folks within the HR tech industry to be highlighted and celebrated in a way that they haven't been able to before. So tell us more, Deanna.
Yeah, I'm sure listeners are like, why the heck is a marketing agency doing an HR tech podcast? And we developed the HR Tech Spotlight podcast to feature innovative HR technology companies because we want to give listeners insights into the options that are out there. Once upon a time, I worked at a company called Ceridian, which is a well-known company in the HR tech space. And now at my marketing agency, GrowthMode Marketing, we work with HR technology companies all the time to help them build brand awareness and trust in the market. And through this experience, I've had the opportunity to really dig deep, understand buyer needs in the space, and see how cluttered the market is. And what I've seen through my experiences is that this is a very, very crowded market, which makes it overwhelming for HR tech buyers because there are a crazy amount of technology options to choose from to solve their HR and employee challenges and needs. In fact, there are over 21,000 HR technology solutions competing in the market. So Josh, as you can imagine, the vendors all start to blend together in the minds of the buyers. And there are a lot of different solutions and solution categories. And although they may be different products, there's definitely crossover and different ways to solve common challenges. And so as I was thinking about it, the big brands with the big money show up everywhere. While the innovative up and coming technology companies don't always make it on the buyer's radar. And even though those lesser known HR technology solutions might be a better fit for the buyer's needs at times, they just don't know they exist. So with this podcast, we thought it was an opportunity to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. One, to give HR technology companies that are doing innovative things a platform to share what they're doing and how they're different and unique. And 2, to give HR tech buyers who don't want to talk to a sales rep until they've got enough information, giving them an outlet to learn about some of these technologies without having to reach out to that company and have a sales conversation.
Yeah, and Deanna, I happen to know a little bit about what you do, and I think just because you work with so many great leaders in HR tech, I think you were probably seeing like, oh my gosh, this is so innovative, this is so cool. Explain what you do and like what is your relationship typically, and how you've kind of built this amazing network of HR tech leaders.
Yeah, so GrowthMode Marketing is a demand generation marketing agency that works with HR technology companies. We help them define who their ideal customer is and craft an authentic story that will help them tell their message in a way that clearly articulates the value to HR tech buyers. And this is why we are launching the HR Tech Spotlight podcast. We want to help those innovative HR technology companies tell their stories and also help our listening audience of HR tech buyers learn about the companies that are shaping the future of the HR tech market, because there are some really cool and innovative things that are happening out there.
Yeah. And Deanna, what do you like? I don't know if there's any overarching trends that you're seeing from your perspective. Sorry, this is a bonus question, but just we're having this conversation. Are there any trends in HR tech that you're excited about, or you're seeing a lot of opportunity around, or maybe some clients that you've worked with that are like, yeah, watch this, it's pretty exciting what's happening here?
Gosh, there's so much innovation that is happening in the HR tech space. I think what HR tech buyers probably don't realize is if you look at the challenges of the last few years, with employee retention and a shortage of employees and everybody going remote and trying to decide, are we a remote office, a hybrid office, all in person? Like, there's been a lot in the last few years. And I think, HR leaders and their teams are just burnt out. Because of all those forces that are working kind of against companies that are trying to manage effectively their workforces and keep business going as usual, there has been a lot of innovation in the industry, and there's actually a lot of investment in the industry by, VC firms. This is a really rapid growing area. And so there are definitely new things that are coming up. I mean, you look at like an HR payroll platform, some people will say, well, it's very black and white. Really? Then why are there companies that are continually creating new technologies and coming out there and looking at different ways to look at things? DEI, there's a lot of innovation happening there. The way companies are recruiting, there's a lot of technology platforms out there that are looking at managing that in different ways that are really neat. Employee retention programs, just it's amazing all the things that are out there. And I don't blame HR tech buyers for being overwhelmed, because it's hard to keep up with the innovation that's happening. You're getting bombarded by a million different companies that are trying to solve your problems in HR, and there's 14 different ways to do it, different product categories to solve the same problem. So I would just say there's definitely options out there. You just don't always know about them.
Yeah. Let's talk about this show. So who needs to be listening to the show, and what are they going to experience when they hear you having great conversations with great HR tech leaders?
Yeah, I would say the audience for this show is going to be HR tech buyers, individuals within an organization that are charged with the task of determining how do we solve these big problems that we have from a technology standpoint, and going out and evaluating who those options are out there. Now, most HR tech buyers, leaders, whether you're in the finance department, the payroll department, the HR department, who the major players are. There's some really, really big brands that do a really great job of marketing and creating brand awareness because they're Fortune 500 companies. They have the funds to be able to do that. You may not know about some of the smaller companies and the up and coming companies that exist because they just can't compete on the same scale from a marketing standpoint as these big guys, but sometimes they're a better option for companies that are out there, depending on what your needs are.
Yeah. And who, I suppose there's someone listening to our conversation right now that probably knows someone that deserves to be in the spotlight. Who would be kind of like an ideal guest for you? And by the way, I should say to our listener, here's what you do when you do know somebody. Dan is going to share exactly, who you should be sending. But here's what you do. You go to growthmodemarketing.com. That's where the podcast is. And then you click on podcast. And then there should be a link right there that says, we're booking guests. Click on that. And again, the website, growthmodemarketing.com. But Deanna, who deserves to be nominated to be a guest on and celebrated on this show?
So we're looking for business leaders who are bringing innovative technology options to the human resource and workforce solutions market. And the goal of these conversations is not to give our audience a sales pitch. We're looking to have a meaningful discussion that provides insights that will help inform our listeners. So we want to share the vendor stories behind why was the technology created, what top challenges it solves for HR and finance leaders, and how it is truly different from the other options that are out there.
Yeah. And again, your website, one more time, is growthmodemarketing.com. To our friend that's listening to us, you go there, click on podcast. Every single search and every single podcast app, that's where you can hit subscribe, but certainly you can share this podcast with friends as well, colleagues that are in HR. I think this is going to be a really, really valuable resource for the entire industry, especially, for those industry leaders who want to keep an ear to the track. What's happening? What's the buzz? What's going on? What's new? What's innovative? And what is the new technology that can truly create impact in our workplaces? So Deanna Shimota, again, congrats on the launch of the podcast. Any further thoughts about kind of what you see about this industry, or kind of, over the next year, kind of things that you're excited about, or, just, I guess, your vantage point, with growth mode marketing, the things that, that you're kind of your mini state of the union for the HR industry.
Yeah, one thing I'll say for the HR industry, if you're a buyer, I understand how frustrating it is to get hit up by a million different HR technology companies. You get the phone calls, you get the emails, you get them from everywhere because it's such a crowded market. One of the things from our vantage point as a marketing agency that we've seen and experienced is people don't want to engage with a sales rep. So I'm here to tell you, as a marketing leader in the space, and we're working with HR technology companies, it's really about building out their digital footprints so that you have the ability to go and research them without having that invasive experience or that cringeworthy experience of the sales rep reaching out to you before you're ready to have those conversations. And I think this is probably for any of us that are corporate technology buyers, a welcome change to how marketing is working. Not every company's there yet, but to help them understand, like, we need to stop trying to pull you as buyers into the sales process of the vendor. Instead, we need to work with the buying process in the way that all of you out there want to buy.
Yeah. Deanna Shimota, congratulations on episode 1. To our listener, hit subscribe and just start binge listening. Go right into the next episode and keep on going. And you know what? You're going to become an MVP within your organization for knowing the latest and the greatest in HR tech. Deanna, congratulations.
Thank you.